So this is an example of how to set up a rubric for one of your assignments. So I'm just into a test class here, and it's an English 421 class. So I'm going to go and actually click on an actual assignment that's there already. So I'm into a unit on Shakespeare. And what I'm going to do here is just create the actual assignment. So let's call it a book report. And for points, it doesn't matter because the rubric's going to override it anyway. And I'm going to leave the due date empty just for now. I'll call this an assignment. So there we go. I've created another assignment. And what I'm going to do now is click on Rubrics up top here to the left. And so what I'll do here is create an actual rubric. So there's one in here already called a test rubric. I'll create another one. So click New. Call this Book Report Rubric. And you can put in some notes of the description. The observation and ranges, what that is it's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to click over here as an example. These are your observations. These are your ranges. So it starts off in students achieve with best to worst, and this is just a very basic example. And these are your criteria. So for example, spelling, grammar, research, objectivity, voice, etc. So what I'm going to do is apply this to students achieve, and there's no way you can import it. So we've got 4 observations, 4 ranges. Just choose whatever you like. Click Create New Rubric. And it's in here. This is where you can say, and I'm just using this as a very loose example, best, second best, and you can label these appropriately. Third best and worst. And like I said, the observation here was writing. What else did I have? Oh, spelling, grammar, research, sorry. And last but not least, I think we had voice. So you could put the actual notes in here for the criteria you want the students to follow for their rubric. They'll be able to see this on their portal. However, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't affect how you enter marks. So I'm just going to hit save. So I close this down. So there it is here. So then what I can actually do is go back to the assignment, book report. What you do is click on the edit button over here, and then under rubric, you click this button here, and then you're going to use existing rubric. Then you click the folder, and then you click on my rubrics, and then you just attach it. It'll bring the rubric up. You can just close it, hit save, and that's it. You can use that rubric for multiple assignments as well. So it'll show up, there's 4 here. It'll say this assignment has 4 parts, knowing that there's a rubric attached. The total points are 16 because we said 4 for the best and there was 4 criteria. To enter marks now, what you do is click on the A plus just as you normally would, and then you have your 4 criteria here. Depending on the browser you use, if you hover over these, it'll actually say what the criteria was. So for example, the first one would be spelling and grammar. When you hover over here, it'll say spelling and grammar. In certain versions of Firefox, it doesn't work. So now I could quickly give the students, based on their rubric criteria, whatever marks they receive for the rubric. When I hit save, it'll generate a number out of 16 for them. So it's as simple as that. The other option you can do is add multi-part assignments. So for example, under test sonnets here, I'm going to click on the edit button. This one already has parts involved. So for example, instead of doing a rubric, you just want to give different points for multi-parts of the assignment. So for example, outline, thesis, and grammar. 5 points given for that, 5 for thesis, 5 for grammar. All you do to add more in, for example, I'll type in example here. You select mark, number, and you put in the amount of marks for that criteria. And you just hit save. So now the total points are out of 19 because I added 4 more to it. And when you go to enter marks for that assignment, you'll have the same columns, same as you did for the actual rubrics. Just another option to use multi-part assignments for your assignments. And it's as simple as that.